What is love? Can anyone really answer that question? If you are in love, what is it that you're in love with? Her? Or the idea of her? Her goodness? Or your perception of her goodness? Do you love her for her and all her beauty? Or do you love her because of what she does for you? As we know, love masquerades as many things. But is there such a thing as true, lasting love? I'll tell you what. I'll define love, and you think about whether or not you agree. Okay, here goes. Love is that feeling you get when you meet the right girl. Do you agree? Is love really a pleasant sensation that magically and spontaneously generates when she appears? You know, butterflies in the stomach, that euphoric loss of sensibility, that exquisite madness that takes over all our senses. If that's real, and love is a feeling, then true love is new love. The problem with this notion that love is the way someone makes us feel is that a feeling comes and a feeling may go. But this is how most of us approach a relationship. We get together and make all kinds of long-term promises to each other because of a feeling. Now, it's true that this feeling is one of the most exhilarating and exciting feelings you can ever experience in life. In fact, the intensity of our feelings and attraction for each other is usually construed as proof of the intensity of our love. How true it is. I really, really like her. I'm in love with her. It must be true love. If you let a girl know that you like her, it is very direct and very unusual. And frankly, it's quite refreshing for her. She will usually ask you something like, "Why do you say you like me so much? You just met me and you don't know anything about me." When that happens, say, "I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out for myself. I don't know what it is about you. I have lots of girlfriends. I just can't keep my eyes off you. I know I can't give you what you want and deserve. That guy can. All I know is that I feel better when you're around." And so we set out together arm in arm with high hopes, feeling so much love and euphoria for each other, for the newness of it all, delirious, crazily in love with each other. And it's good. But inevitably, life, as life does, bears down on us. And the miracle of love slowly fades as disappointments, routine, and boredom begin to encroach. Eventually, we might even feel that the magic just isn't there anymore. We know this is true because everywhere we look, we see broken marriages, broken hearts, broken dreams. Every single one of those broken relationships began just like I described. They thought this time would be different. This was the one. Intentions are still noble. Dreams are still dreamy. Happily ever after is still the story we all still desire. It's amazing how regularly our relationships crash on the rocks. In fact, can you imagine any other enterprise of humanity that is undertaken with such spectacular optimism? If we failed as regularly in business as we do in love, we would stand back, shake our head and say, "Okay, something's not working." But in affairs of the heart, we repeat the same cycles over and over again. It's because we think we know what we want. Us men, you know, we see a guy who is rich or famous with a hot girl in his arm, and we think, "I want one of those. That's what I want." Well, there are plenty of rich, successful men in this world with a trophy girl on their arm, a girl who pretends that she likes him, but she really only tolerates him. Or worse, can't stand him. Yeah, a guy like that might have a hot babe, but he is missing something fundamental, something he desperately craves, and he knows it. He knows he's missing something, and it hurts him. This is because we convince ourselves that when we finally have a girl like that in our life, our vision of the perfect woman, we will be head over heels in love. Then, finally, we will be happy. Then, we will stay with that girl forever once we land her. Then, we will marry that one. Then, we will be in love. And why wouldn't we be We have the girl we have always dreamed about. This is what we think love is. We think that we want that special someone, that perfect someone, that ideal, but oh so elusive woman. A woman whose physical qualities we like. A woman who is sexy, killer body, great in bed. A cover girl. You know, we look in a magazine at one of those pristine girls, airbrushed to an almost surreal perfection, and we say, wow, I want one of those for my birthday. Then I'll be happy. Then finally I'll be happy. But the truth is, and this is going to sound strange, and you might even disagree, the truth is, we don't really want that at all. That will not make us happy. Well, then what do we mean when we talk of love? Do we mean to have someone like that in our life? No. We mean only one thing: to be loved, to be accepted as we are. That's what that rich guy is craving. All of our discontent in affairs of the heart is really just a longing for someone to desire us, for someone to find us lovable, to be in this cold, gray, dismal world of so little caring. Finally, lovable. That's all we want. You see, to be loved is a fundamental need of human nature. You can have the prettiest girl in the world at your side. It gets miserable really fast if there's no spark, no chemistry, no passion, no attraction, no mutual respect. If she doesn't endlessly amuse you, if she doesn't adore you, your relationship can only be one of emptiness and loneliness. Every passionate relationship began passionately. As Shakespeare wrote, "Whoever loved, that loved not at first sight." Falling in love is that euphoric loss of sensibility, that exquisite madness that takes over all our senses. It is a form of madness. It's like seeing a miracle that no one else can see. It's like building a hut on an island over there and all your friends are going, "What are you doing?" You understand, but they don't understand. You can see it, they can't. That's what falling in love is like. The feeling described by the greatest Italian poet, Dante, he described it. He was the one who wrote the Divine Comedy, and he also wrote a book called La Vita Nuova. In it, he describes first setting eyes on a girl named Beatrice. He would go on to love her for the rest of his life. And here's what he wrote about the first time he saw her. Keep in mind, this is written in the year 1302. He wrote, "She was dressed in a very noble color, a delicate crimson, tied with a girdle and trimmed in a manner suitable to her tender age. She was called Beatrice by many who did not know what it meant to call her this. The moment I saw her, I say, in all truth, that the vital spirit, which dwells in the inmost depths of the heart, began to tremble so violently that I felt the vibration alarmingly in all my pulses, even the weakest of them. As it trembled, it uttered these words: 'Behold a God more powerful than I, who comes to rule over me.'" That's falling in love. Every passionate relationship began passionate. You know, we spend a fortune hoping to achieve that state of being lovable. We look for it in a pill, or a lotion, or a gym. Men concentrate on success, on wealth and power. By attaining these things, they believe they can be more lovable. Women concentrate on being more attractive, more desirable physically. It is all for just one thing, for one goal: to make us more lovable to the opposite sex. But no matter what we do, we can't seem to find some measure of acceptance of ourselves and who we are. That fundamental longing in our soul is what has fueled every endeavor of man. There is no question that love, in all its various guises, is the world's most powerful emotion, inspiring, for instance, all the great poems, great, incredible works of art, everything from Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata to the Taj Mahal. Wars have been fought because of love. Knights lived and died by the code of chivalry, that so-called courtly love, love of the lady, the ideal, of her. And you might be thinking, yeah, whatever, Zan. I just want to pick up hot chicks. Easy for you to say, I just want to get laid. I'll take that rich guy's girl, thanks. I'll try and find happiness later. And that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. And what you will discover, though, is that the better you get with women, the less you need them. The less you need validation for yourself as a man. And the less you need women, the more women you will have. The better you get with women, the less you will feel the need to prove it to other guys. The things you think you've always wanted are not what you really want at all. The girl you think you want in your life that will create happiness in you is just a girl. I mean that in a good way. I mean that it isn't fair to project that onto her, to demand of her that she makes you happy. It's too much to ask of anyone. That's why our relationships die right and left. You know, you're listening to my talk for a reason. You bought this DVD for a reason. We think it's about women, but this has never been about women. This has never been about other men. This has always been about rediscovering your soul and regaining a former clarity. As you become more centered in yourself, you get a purpose in life that isn't her. Slowly it begins to dawn on you that the answer you seek can never be found in a woman. Well, that's my little discourse on love. I believe in love, guys. I'm a romantic. Love at first sight is in our very nature. We can't help it. It's the way we are built. It is now known that across all cultures, ancient and modern, the South Sea Islands, Japan, China, India, Polynesia, Africa, Canada, love at first sight is a natural human condition. By simply looking at someone for the first time, some feeling at the center of our being can be triggered. Every passionate relationship began passionately. The problem arises when we expect that feeling to last forever and build lifetimes around it. So what is love? Well, maybe love is the ability and willingness to allow her to be what she chooses to be for herself. To just be beautiful, to be the beauty, without any insistence that she satisfies you. How do you stay out of the let's just be friends zone? I basically tell her straight out, I'm not that guy. I tell her right off the bat that I'm different than other men she has met. And I also tell her that I'm one of the most honest men she's ever met. Honest with myself and honest with her. I know who I am and what I like. I tell her I will not lie to her to get her into bed. However, I don't view her as just a friend. I have every intention of taking this further. And if she wants something else, I tell her I have the highest respect for her. And it's too bad because you're cute. We could have had some fun together. I tell her that as I move through this life, I seek to maximize my experiences and the experience of those around me. I tell her that I have no intention of having a non-romantic relationship with her, straight up. If she chooses not to stay, I understand. Not every girl wants the same thing as you. But all of them will say this. They'll say something to the effect of how refreshing it is to hear. And they accept it with no judgment. It is amazing because when you approach a girl with this kind of honesty and directness, there is no such thing as a last-minute resistance or wait 3 months before sex or bitterness or feeling like you deceived her. She knew. And by staying around for 1 minute longer with you after you told her what she's going to experience, she is complicit in her own seduction. Women love it. All right, so let's imagine for a minute that you have discovered, approached, and attracted into your life the girl of your dreams. The one, if you will. Someone who takes your breath away. And happily, it's reciprocal. She really likes you too. The two of you are inseparable.